3 years after retiring, Margaret walked into her garage looking for a box of Christmas decorations. Instead, she found something she had completely forgotten about: an old spiral notebook. Dust covered the front. She wiped it clean. Across the cover, written in black marker, were 6 simple words: "Things I'll finally have time to do." She smiled, opened the notebook, and then stopped. Almost every page was blank. Italy, learn photography, volunteer, take piano lessons, visit old friends, start a garden. Next to every dream, nothing. No dates, no memories, no check marks, just empty pages. Margaret slowly sat down on the garage floor and cried. How could someone who finally had all the time in the world run out of it? When most people imagine retirement, they picture freedom. Freedom from alarm clocks, deadlines, meetings, commutes. The assumption seems obvious. If work disappears, life should slow down. But ask enough retirees one question: what surprised you the most about retirement? And you'll hear something unexpected. Many don't talk about money, or healthcare, or Social Security. Instead, they say something much simpler. I don't know where the years went. Why does retirement, the very season we've waited decades for, often make time feel like it's moving faster than ever? Margaret was about to find out. I'll do it next spring. When Margaret retired, she made plans for everything: a trip through Italy, photography classes, lunch with old coworkers. She even bought a beautiful leather journal to record every adventure. The first few months were wonderful. She painted the guest room, cleaned the garage, visited family, organized old photographs. Life felt busy. One afternoon, her daughter asked, "So, when are you taking that trip to Italy?" Margaret smiled. "Oh, probably next spring." Spring came, then summer, then Christmas. The travel brochures stayed in the same kitchen drawer. She wasn't avoiding the trip. She simply believed there would always be another spring. The day everything changed. One morning, Margaret decided it was finally time to call her former coworker, Helen. They had promised to stay in touch after retirement. Life had simply gotten busy. She picked up the phone. Before dialing, it rang. Another former coworker was calling. Margaret smiled. "I was just thinking about Helen." There was a long silence. Then came the words she never expected. "Helen passed away yesterday." Margaret sat quietly at the kitchen table. The coffee beside her had gone cold. She couldn't stop staring at Helen's phone number, still written on the sticky note beside the refrigerator. She had kept saying, "I'll call next week," without realizing, eventually there isn't always a next week. The afternoon that almost didn't happen. A few weeks later, Margaret's grandson knocked on the back door. "Grandma, will you help me build a birdhouse?" She almost answered automatically, "Maybe tomorrow." Instead, she caught herself. Tomorrow. That word suddenly felt different. She smiled. "Let's do it today." The project took almost the entire afternoon. Nothing fit correctly. They laughed more than they worked. The paint ended up on their clothes instead of the birdhouse. Years later, her grandson didn't remember what they built. He remembered spending the afternoon with his grandmother. Margaret finally understood something retirement had been trying to teach her all along. Life isn't remembered in years, it's remembered in afternoons. A few months later, Margaret opened the notebook again. This time, she didn't make another list. Instead, she crossed out the title, "Things I'll Finally Have Time to Do." She wrote something else, "Things I'll Do Today." She never made it to every country she wanted to visit. She never learned the piano. She never became a photographer. But somehow, she no longer felt like she was missing life. because she had stopped waiting for the perfect tomorrow and started noticing the ordinary moments that were already in front of her. Maybe that's the biggest retirement surprise nobody warns you about. Retirement doesn't simply give you more time. It changes how valuable every ordinary day becomes. Most of us spend 40 years preparing financially for retirement. Very few of us prepare for how quickly ordinary days become treasured memories. Because one day, the vacation may fade, the new car will be forgotten, even the balance in your portfolio will change. But your family will remember the birdhouse, the cookies you baked together, the walks, the conversations, the afternoons you chose not to postpone. Perhaps true wealth was never measured by how many years retirement gives us, but by how fully we choose to live the ordinary days we're given. If this story reminded you of someone you love, or reminded you not to put something off, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Because retirement isn't just about protecting your money. It's about building a life you'll love living. And if you'd like more stories about the financial, emotional, and practical realities of retirement, like and subscribe to The Wealth Perspective. I really appreciate you watching. Thank you.